Good morning, everybody. I'm Praying Medic. Welcome to Supernatural Saturday. Yes, it is Saturday morning again. Saturday afternoon for some of you. I come to you live once a month, second Saturday of the month at 1 p.m. Eastern on CloutHub, channel 115. A lot of changes coming to CloutHub. If you watched my last broadcast with Greg Harvey, you probably caught wind of some of the changes. A lot of good things there. I'm still broadcasting live, like I said, once a month on CloutHub channel 115. Very soon, in the next couple of weeks, we're going to have live chat on our live streams. So I'll be able to interact with people, take questions, give answers, have discussions on these live broadcasts, and I'm looking forward to that. I have been going through, over the last year and a half, going through the chapters in my book, Hearing God's Voice Made Simple. And we came to the very last chapter in the book today. That is chapter 23, and the chapter title is The Greatest of These. So last month, we looked at 3 gifts of the Spirit that Paul discussed in 1 Corinthians. He talked about the gift of discerning of spirits, word of wisdom, and the word of knowledge. And in that chapter, Paul discusses all the different gifts of the Holy Spirit, which are really manifestations of the Spirit. They're manifestations of God's presence, and they're manifestations that are intended to display God's nature. So, and reveal his plans. So in that chapter, Paul is exhorting the church in Corinth about the spiritual gifts, and he's talking about how advanced they are. Of all of the early churches that Paul wrote to, church in Ephesus, other churches, the church in Corinth was by far the most spiritually gifted church. They far exceeded every other church in the operation of the gifts of the Holy Spirit. And a lot of people think that operating in the gifts of the Spirit, gift of prophecy, word of knowledge, word of wisdom, is a sign that you're a spiritually mature person. And that is not true. Because Paul had more rebukes for the church of Corinth for their spiritual immaturity than for any other church that there was. Right? So it's a little bit of a paradox there, because the church in Corinth was at the same time both the most spiritually gifted church and the most spiritually immature church. Spiritual gifts do not equal spiritual maturity. The spiritual maturity really is, it comes down to an issue of how in tune are you with the nature and the character of God? And although the gifts of the Spirit are manifestations of the Spirit, the greatest expression of God's nature is love. And Paul actually starts out 1 Corinthians chapter 13 with a discussion about love, and I'm going to read it to you. Get my spectacles here. Though I speak with the tongues of men and angels, but I have not love, I have become a sounding brass or a clanging cymbal. And though I have the gift of prophecy, and understand all mysteries and all knowledge, and though I have all faith, so I can move mountains, but have not love, I am nothing. And though I bestow all my goods to feed the poor, though I give my body to be burned, but I have not love, it profits me nothing. Love suffers long and is kind. Love does not envy, it does not parade itself, it is not puffed up, does not behave rudely, does not seek its own, and is not provoked. It thinks no evil, does not rejoice in iniquities, but rejoices in the truth. Love bears all things, believes all things, hopes all things, and endures all things. Love never fails. So Paul here is talking about the supremacy of love over the gifts of the Spirit. And I've been having some discussions in my Telegram channel over the last couple of days. The issue that I've been discussing with people is hatred and love. And there are these people out there who think that they've identified a group of people who are deserving of our hate. They're justifying hatred of an entire group of people based on whatever there's a lot of different things that they use to justify their hatred and anger toward a group of people. But if you are a child of God, the goal is to be transformed into the image of Christ. And that is manifested through unconditional love. It's loving other people. This is a big issue right now, and it's kind of ironic, the timing of all this, because there's just a lot of people out there in the world right now who are frustrated and they're angry. And even in the political world, you see people who are conservatives attacking people who are liberals. You see liberals attacking conservatives, Republicans attacking Democrats. The same problem exists. We're trying to justify hating a group of people. We call them libtards, you call them, Trump-tards, Q-tards. There's all these names being thrown around in the political discussions. And using names to label people whose ideologies, Frank, I don't know if Frank is listening, but the ideologies that people are developing, rallying around, there's some bad ideologies out there. There are some good ideologies. Loving others unconditionally is a good ideology, but there are a lot of bad ideologies being thrown around. And this whole idea that Democrats or liberals are evil because they have different views than you is exactly the kind of work that the enemy is doing today. The enemy is trying to divide and split us into groups and get us to fight each other. The goal of Satan has always been to get humanity to divide and split and to cause us to hate other groups of people, skin color, race, belief systems, religion, whatever, your political views. The plan of the enemy is to divide us and to get us fighting amongst one another. And that is always rooted in stirring up and developing and rationalizing hatred of other people. And here in 1 Corinthians 13, Paul is simply telling believers the supreme manifestation of God's character is love. And that is the goal above everything else that we do, above our knowledge, above the great revelation we receive, whether we speak in tongues or see angels or whatever. None of that matters if we don't display godly character, which is epitomized by love. Love is the bottom line. And I have taken some steps in my Telegram channel to remove people who are spreading hatred. They're trying to legitimize hatred, and I'm not going to tolerate it. You're allowed to believe whatever you want. This is a free country, free world. I very much believe in freedom of thought and free speech. However, on social media, I have a Telegram channel now. It's my channel. I'm responsible for moderating the content on there. And I've made it very clear from the very beginning. I don't tolerate people making personal attacks on others, spreading hatred, and that's my bottom line. So I kind of I played the dad card yesterday on my Telegram channel, and I told people, look, if you're in my channel to spread hatred and to legitimize hatred of other people, I would rather you not be in my channel. And it's not that hard of an idea, to understand. We are called to love others unconditionally, despite whatever differences you have with people. You might be a Republican, you might be a liberal or conservative or Democrat. That's not the issue. The issue is every single person is made in the image of God, and God has a plan for each of us. And the only way we're ever going to fulfill God's destiny and plan for our life is to follow His blueprint, follow His plan, His destiny for us. And that begins by becoming a loving person. We did not love God first. He loved us first. And until you feel and know the love of God, you can't love others unconditionally. It's pretty simple. The love of God, the love that God shows to us, the love that He demonstrates to us, gives us the capacity to love others unconditionally. And look, I know it's hard. It's very difficult to love others that you don't agree with. People who drive you crazy, people that get on your nerves, people whose ideologies you don't agree with. But the whole point of that is that once you develop a relationship with God, and once you feel and know His love personally, it gives you the capacity to demonstrate that unconditional love toward others. You're not going to love others unconditionally until you first know the love of God. That's it. I could drop my mic right now and end this broadcast. But I don't know, I just felt like today was a good day to bring up this subject. We are being conformed into the image of Christ. And that image is unconditional love toward others. His death on the cross, His death for us, is the greatest demonstration of unconditional love you'll ever see. And I would just encourage you to let His love transform you and change you into the person He wants you to be. That's what a relationship with God is all about. It's being transformed into His image. And His image is love. God is love. That is the epitome of God's character. Short broadcast today. I hope this has encouraged you. I am working on some projects, working on some books, hoping to do more live broadcasts in the very near future. I'll keep you guys updated as I get more information on that. Like I said, CloutHub is changing, and they're going to be adding live chat to the videos, the live streaming on there. So I'll be talking with Jeff Brain, the CEO of CloutHub, see when that's going to get rolled out, and keep you updated on that. All right, thanks for joining me on the broadcast and on the replay. I love you all. Please keep me in prayer. Keep Denise in prayer. Keep President Trump in prayer. Love you all. Take care. I'll catch you on the next broadcast.